All right, friends and neighbors, welcome back to another networking video. Hey, I was having a conversation with a couple of folks, and I even got some email on the topic of, hey, what if this is the wrong pace for me? And I think what most folks were saying was there's just no way that if you're studying and this is all you were doing, right, that this is going to be able to keep up with you. And by this, I mean the video series. And I get that. But I have another job. So it's kind of tough for me to put out, like daily or 3 times a week videos. So, how to address this? What I thought I would do is a look ahead. And so, as you know, I've done a lot of content on this channel and we've covered a lot of ground. And it turns out that we've covered most of the stuff in the CCNA already. It's just all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I will occasionally put out a video like this one, where it's a look ahead to a couple of chapters. And in the show notes, I will include all of the links that you need, sort of if you wanted to jump ahead. And then you can always come back to the CCNA series that we're doing if you think you missed something or you want to make sure you got everything. So that's what I think we're going to do. So I'll hit the cliff notes for everything. And then maybe every once in a while we'll have an idea that maybe we'll explore. So without further ado, here's our chapters 1 through 5 look ahead. Well, so as you know, we already did chapter 1, and I'm finishing chapter 1 this week. There'll be another video in the next day or so on that one to wrap that up. But it was really all about the TCPIP fundamentals, right? Some basic network ideas. And probably the biggest one in the chapter is the idea of a model, and that at every layer of the model we have different jobs. Okay, so that's kind of what that did. We did some examples, and the application layer example in there was HTTP, and then I showed you a capture on how that works and some stuff like that. There was also the post office example of the IP routing basics, and then a discussion of what happens at layer 1 and layer 2. So we did all of the layers of the model. We took a look at the RFCs, and so that's what chapter 1 is about. Now, right at the beginning of the chapter, the author also discusses that this is not really part of the CCNA exam, but they're just some helpful ideas to keep you going along. So the model videos, I'll link those in the show notes. Now, chapter 2 is the fundamentals of Ethernet LANs, or local area networks. So what we're going to do right there is we're going to start digging into what you will actually see on a local area network. In particular, what's going on at layer 2. So there'll be a couple of topology discussions there, and then we'll talk about some physical interfaces and some cabling types. So there's a standard right there, EIA TIA 568A and 568B, and then there are some types of cables that we can become familiar with. And so there's more than one kind of copper cable, and there's more than one kind of fiber optic cable. We'll talk about those. And of course, we did Ethernet on the channel before, so I'll include where we saw Ethernet in the show notes. I probably won't link all of them, but those links will get you to other links and so on and so forth. So I'll give some good starting spots for Ethernet local area networks there. Again, if you want to look ahead. This is also going to be the next chapter that we cover, but I won't get to it for another week. Now, chapter 3 is the fundamentals of WANs and IP routing. So what happens when you leave your network, right? So what are those connections like? It turns out there's an awful lot of them. Today, we're sort of coalescing around a couple, right? So it's not only a discussion of whether or not you're fiber or cable, but what kind of protocol is running over there. And then also, what are some of the issues with having your WAN connectivity? And then we got to talk a little bit about routing. Getting started on routing is an important part of the CCNA. And so we've done lots of routing on the channel. And so I'll link to some of those. The WAN discussion is sprinkled all around. I'll try to find a good place to start. And that'll be in the show notes too. So that's chapter 3, WANs and IP routing. Now, chapter 4 is interesting because this is where we get into the command line interface, or how you actually talk to Cisco devices. And of course, this is the Cisco certification for the network associate. So hey, this will be a good thing to know. Now there'll be some commands in there and some different discussion of the different OSs. I have done lots of packet tracer examples, so I'll link to those. But this is also, I was wondering what you all thought about this. What if I did a live demo? I mean, what if I had a chance to sit down and do something together? I have no idea how that works. I've never done that on the channel before, but it might be interesting to try. Let me know what you think. Send me a message or post a comment as to whether or not you thought it would be cool to try to build something with me at the same time. And I'll build it, you'll build it. We'll see if we can get through it all. And yep, lots of links in the show notes for chapter 4 as well. By the way, this also begins our part 2 of the book, moving out of our basics and intro ideas. And chapter 5 is analyzing Ethernet switching. So we talked about the Ethernet protocol earlier, or at least we will. And then this is all about Ethernet switches. So there's a lot of concepts that we have to go over how an Ethernet switch operates. So learning or transparent switches, the aging of MAC addresses, frame switching, how does it actually work, forwarding of traffic, and then of course something called the source address table or the MAC address table. These will be some really fundamental ideas. And then basic spanning tree operation. It turns out that there are a lot of protocols that help save us when we make mistakes or save us when there are problems, in this case loops. And so that's what spanning tree is all about. And we've done spanning tree on the channel, so I'll include links for that as well. Well, there's the look ahead to the first 5. So again, I'll post this video and then a whole bunch of links in the show notes to all of the stuff that'll be good starting places for those first 5 chapters if you want to jump ahead and work faster than I am on the individual chapters. Let me know if you think this is a good idea, right? The look ahead. And also let me know if you think the idea of a live demo or, a back and forth, a live chat might be helpful on your way towards certification or just getting better at doing Cisco thingies. Like and subscribe if this helps. May those packets always reach their destinations. And remember, this is networking and certification. You can do this.